Hey, hello guys. I'm just gonna get the link posted to Facebook and then I'll send this out. Give me 1 second. Bit of the work today. Cool. So, hope everyone's doing okay and all that jazz. So, in terms of what we'll be doing, no idea, to be honest. Primarily environment work, I know that much, but not entirely settled on exactly what we'll be doing. Tell me about audio levels, by the way, if anyone, if the music's too loud or not. In terms of the music, I'm just playing Spotify link. That's not what I want. Let me just get this. Copy Spotify. Just to give credit where it's due. Cool. But yeah, so I'll be doing primarily environment work. In terms of what's done so far, I do have a render that I kicked off earlier today. So I'm just gonna get that on the screen. So this is where the project currently stands. So obviously we've got a ton of work to do on the road. I kind of like this extra rocky feel that it's got, but I don't really want that. I want kind of more brick feeling. So yeah, but this was I think a 45-minute render that I just sent off this morning while I was working. So in terms of like just having a general look around it, obviously we know, you know, there's stuff that isn't look dev. In terms of what is working, I feel like, yeah, this kind of window I'm happy with. I can leave him where he is. I just need to kind of decorate around him, I think, because these are too straight, a bit too boring. These guys back here are fine. I did move the character's eyes this morning just to face the camera with this actual camera position. Mouse is working fine. This monster down here, he's getting way too obscured. Like, you can see him, he's there, but he's getting really obscured by the hair. So I'm gonna have to kind of move that around and make it just do a little bit more work for me. And the ground, obviously, that needs to be turned way down. The ground is way too intense. So we'll be turning that down, making that a bit more subtle. I'll be modeling in some rocks and stuff, but in terms of what we actually do in the stream today, I'll be adding a lot more of these kind of paving slabs. Let's get PureF open while I think of it. There we go, so it's open on the other screen. So let's load that up. And let's go straight to this. So I need to actually look for some proper reference. So let's go into Google and search Cobble Road London images. So don't care about actual cobble roads. But in terms of what we're going to go for, I mean, that's too much like brick in my mind. That's a bit too much cobble. I should probably search for high res. So, I have no idea how we're going to do it, by the way. I'm not an environment artist, I'm a character guy. So I'm going to model it because that's the wrong way to do it, which I love doing the wrong way. This kind of works, but maybe it's not going to work too well for our scene. Maybe just search actually Victorian. Is that really what they like? Because I don't really want to do this, to be honest. I want it to feel a little bit more organised. Something more like this could be cool. Is that what they like though? This is what I've got in my head. Which I need to obviously make my my models a lot more square, because again, currently what we have is super round, like really soft. I think that could be interesting though. What other options do we have? No, that's too extreme. But yeah, if anyone has any ideas, do let me know. I'm always open to suggestions. And as I said, do let me know about audio levels, because I've increased it slightly from the last stream in terms of the background audio, if you can even hear it. So yeah, I'm aware that I'm a lot louder than it. What would be good? What would be good? I feel like this is probably the way we're gonna go, right? Right, I'm gonna boost the audio slightly. Oh, it looks like it's not too far off actually. Let's put it up like 2 decibels. There you go. That's a minus 35 dB. So it should be a fair bit quieter than my voice. I always forget how decibels work in terms of like actually how you interpret them. I know that like 10 decibels is double the strength, like there's a logarithmic scale, but that's kind of cool. Getting a bit of that grass in between could be fun. This is the ref and the keys coming up though. So let's get that into our pure ref. Let's just move that over to the side. And for now, I'm just going to dock that. So, let's get started, I guess. So we're going to need to do a fair bit of model tweaking. I'll probably delete most of the models, to be honest. So let's just go into face mode. Just select a bunch of them at the front here. What I'll do is I'll model a few individual shapes, like unique shapes, and I'll start duplicating them around. So first things first, I do want it to be a little bit more smooth than what is in that ref. Let's just get that there. I should just delete them completely. Road brick mat. Alright, so let's just quickly start again. Cube. This is assigned road brick mat to that guy. Assign existing material. That's brick mat. Where's road brick? There it is. I need to be consistent with how I capitalize stuff. Oh, I also need to hide groom group. That's going to slow everything down, and we can probably hide the character group while I'm at it. Oh, and the box group while we're at that too. Cool. Oh, and let's just, yeah, keep this consistent. Cool. So we're going to need to model a few unique shapes. So I'm just going to look for some kind of general patterns that I'm seeing. So obviously they're all rectangles, which we've got a rectangle. Let's just make it a little bit wider. So let's for now just go for pure generic. We're going to do one just like this. So we don't need to bevel all the corners obviously to get that look. Although getting it flat enough to the ground is going to be a bit finicky, I think. So let's just bevel that. It's already set to the correct amount of faces, so let's widen that up a fair bit. Let's just check. Yeah, so we can tighten that up a bit by doing that. Okay, so list. So I'm just going to tighten this up until it feels about right. So where is it? Poly split. Yep. Okay, bevel. Something like that feels a bit better. So going for a purely generic brick, we get something like this one. So we're not worrying about any variation. I'm just going to put this onto the screen. So we got one brick. Let's duplicate to the side. And this one we're going to do something a little bit more too. So let's just quickly set fraction to 0. Oh, wrong one. So, oh, you've lost your, okay. So you're the one we're working on now, I guess. Let's just remove that bevel, just so we can have a fresh place to work from. So this one, I'm going to do a damaged corner, so let's do that first. I'm just going to chamfer it vert. And we'll make this work topology-wise. We might need to bevel it first. Or I can just keep a triangle. I mean, I don't really care too much. Out of curiosity, what does subdivision do to this? Because subdivision fixes 5-side faces. Granted, that is not the way to fix 5-side faces. Do not hear what I just said and go, oh, okay, well, let's smooth everything that has n-gons and that'll fix it. Because yes, it will, but no, it's a terrible way of going about it. So we've got a damaged brick. But obviously it's a bit much, so let's go for that. So I'm going to turn that into a quad. That there. So let's just grab you. Something like that. Okay, so that's all quads. Let's push that edge in a bit. What happens if I bevel this? There we go. So what we will do at some point is do a pass of kind of, let's just move that along. We'll do a pass of kind of relaxing some of these edges so it's not uniformly the same bevel width, because that kills any sense of realism. So again, let's go back. I could probably duplicate this guy actually. We probably need one where it's kind of the same on multiple corners. Or it's like completely chipped away at one side. Let's do that. So let's just grab you, do that. Maybe we can have one that's a little bit more rounded than all the others. Connect that vert to that vert to that vert. I've ended up with a different topology. How did that happen? Okay, delete it. So yeah. All cool. Jesus, I cannot click. There we go. Back to keep. So now we should probably do one that's a bit more bumpy. So for that, the way I'm going to do it is my favorite old trick. Grab one like this, grab all the verts, go into mesh tools, no, edit mesh, transform verts, random all the way up. Cool. And now we can go through and bevel it. The reason I didn't just do that with all the bevels active is because you end up with really weird corners, like really weird corners. Let's bevel that. And this one's going to be quite a weak bevel because this is naturally going to be the most worn out. So we've got like a pristine brick, a more worn brick, corner chipped. That one's going to be used a lot more rarely than the others though. I should get a couple more. So let's just duplicate that off, move to the side. Poly bevel, boop. And where's the move vertex? Set you to 0. Don't know why I haven't just created a duplicate of this yet. Just keep that as template brick. Cool. So back to ref. This corner damage one is a bit subtle for my taste. So what I might do is one more like this now, where like an entire section is completely destroyed. I'm not going to worry too much about this surface bump and like the corner like little breakup, because that's going to come from my shader. But I feel like I need something that's a lot more worn. And plus, once I've duplicated all these around, I'm going to model, you know, kind of push them around a little bit to get a little bit more variation. Why is that front bit so much sharper than the rest? Is it just me? Like, that's not that for field, right? Like, it's just like a really harsh line there. It looks like this photo's been touched up. Unless it just fades into dirt. That looks weirdly fake. Anyway, so let's move that over. So this one's going to be a lot more destroyed. So let's just, no. Okay, so let's think about this for a moment. Again, disclaimer, not a environment artist. So let's just get you, connect you there, and connect you there. Then you should connect up about there. Not sure what to do about this one yet. This is bad, by the way. You don't want to do that. Let's connect those up. I'll clean up topo once I've figured out what the fuck I'm doing. I'll straighten all the lines up later as well. So what are we doing? Well, this would have been easier to sculpt ahead of time. Push something in like that. Let's harden the normals, that'll make it easier to see what we're doing. All I did was move the problem. Why did I do that? Right, so grab you, pull you that way. keen on the last bit. Let's go with that. This is why I'm not a hard surface guy. Let's go. So I'm going to create a spiral if I'm not careful. So let's do this instead. And we've somehow created a spiral there. Oh, you bastard. Okay. So we need to get these two attached. Don't like this simply. There's two triangles facing each other. That's bad though, I can't do that. This is the risk of streaming, is when you do shit that you haven't really practiced for. Let's quickly test that out. Triangles attached to each other, so we can just delete that now. Now that's a triangle. It's also a non-planar face, which is bad. I can't need that edge. Why did that happen? We know what to fix this triangle. My brain is absolutely fucking fried right now. Let's just quickly drag this up to. So film kicking off a bit. Nothing. Okay. Oh wait, that's a triangle too. Well, that's a good thing. Because now we've got two triangles, so if they can be linked up, then that immediately fixes it. How though? No, I can't do that. We'll just live with the triangles rather than add loads of quads. Yeah, fuck it. Alright, so weirdness. This edge I wouldn't expect to be as sharp as that when this corner's been so damaged. So what can be really good to do in this sort of scenario, at least in my not professional modeler ways, I'm not fucking smoothing it just to fix the Engon. As much as I do find this quite appealing, I prefer to keep things low poly until I need the high poly. But yeah, so this to me doesn't make much sense to still be sharp. So what you can do is go into the sculpting tab and we can relax out topology or even smooth it. First I'm going to look for relax. They changed the feature. Okay, so how big is it? Yeah, before so. So obviously a relax isn't going to work well on a bevel, but that's kind of what we want. Because that means when it smooths now, it relaxes out. Maybe a little bit too much. Yeah, it smooths it out slightly. Although the shader's going to do that a little bit for us, so maybe let's just run a regular smooth over the corner once. Actually, I kind of prefer it sharp. Might stay with sharp. Cool, so there's another brick. So we need probably two more. And then we can see what they look like in shading, and then we'll start actually duplicating them around and getting the roads slowly built up. So we're also going to need to do some fancy light linking. Oh, that's something I forgot to mention actually. We'll have to do some light linking on the monster in the drain, because although his face is there, we can't see it. And the reason is because we have a light specifically to show his face, but the fur's blocking it. So we can do a little bit of cheating and ignore the fur with that light so that it can still cast onto the face, and that way we'll get a little bit more out of it, because without that it just fades into complete darkness. I can actually close this render now. So here are a couple damaged bricks. We probably need a slightly skew-if brick. So let's just add one with a little bit of height variation. Again, I don't particularly care about making hyperreal stuff here. I just want to make stuff that works. I'm going to have to run and get a drink in a second. Foolishly forgot to go get one. That might be enough to start throwing stuff around. We'll need to add a bit of scale variation as we go, but that will do. So, as a test run, let's just grab all these. We're gonna need the kid to be visible actually. Yeah, so they're way too big at the moment, I think. Or maybe they're just too tall. That. Oh, what are these? Oh, that's the old brick group. Same with you, and same with you. you, move you forward. I'm not going to worry too much about fixing the tiling in terms of like these bricks are all going to be in a line, because I just want to quickly test the scale of these things and how they mix with the ground. There's no point doing all this. Yeah, so we're not going to worry about that yet. That's really easy to fix as well. So. We got what? Move them all down, just slightly. Cool. So let's do a quick test render with that. In fact, we're going to need to merge all of them. So this is where it gets gross. Actually, no, we'll ignore that for now. So let's just go do a test render. Do not like this song. So there's like a solid 90% chance of this not looking like any good at all. Oh, especially if it does that. On camera. Actually, kinda works. Oh, we need to unhide the bugs. I thought my color space was fucked for a second there. Yeah, so currently we're getting these weird edges, and the reason for that is because we don't have displacement or subdivision enabled, and they've got a mesh, they've got a displacement shader on them, which is going to really confuse things. So other than the flatness of it, which I'll have to fix, I feel like the bevels are a bit too tight. Which we've deleted the history of them, haven't we? And we are clipping a bit there. Okay, so we need to loosen the bevels and what's the word? Loosen the bevels and enable subdivision. Oh, there's the group. Cool. So I thought that bevel would be loose enough, to be honest, but apparently not. Well, that one looks like it. Oh, okay, that's what happened. So this one was probably okay. Let's just do collapse edges. Everything? Nope, not quite. I think that's everything, right? So let's Yeah, it's just a case of the ones with that being too tight, which makes sense because that's the ones we're mainly looking at. So this one should be quick enough to fix. Right, I think a quicker way to do this would be to stay on the corners. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, stay on the corners. Fill in any gaps that you see. Cool. I think that will work. So let's collapse edges. Merge collapse edge. Like that. Cool. Let's save the scene. And while we're at it, let's just enable. Okay, we're gonna have to. Oh, they've all got extra shape nodes. Beautiful. Cool. So let's grab all these guys. As I noted. How many have I selected? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, shit. Can delete that one. Delete that one. Delete that one. Delete that one. Oh, wait, what? I selected these guys. Oh, I see what you did. Okay. Oh, so that's the history, isn't it? Okay, so we just have to delete history on them. He still has an extra surface though. Oh, so when you delete history, like, oh, okay, so I've learned something new today. Yes, it's just a history thing, there's nothing I can really do about it. So let's get Arnold onto these guys. So division, cut Clark. Let's go to a max of 2. Displacement is set correctly. Oh. I know I could use the attribute spreadsheet to do this quicker, but honestly, like with just 5 bricks, it's probably not much slower to just do this. And this is more absent-minded. Like you can do this without thinking. Which is my priority most of the time these days. The least amount of thought for the most amount of result. Right, so let's get that there. Move that over to the side. Oh, why are we doing that? Cool. So let's give that a test render. There we go, it's a lot better. Displacement isn't completely breaking stuff, but it is acting a little bit strange. We may need to mask the displacement using a curvature so that it kind of pulls it away from the edges a little bit. We will see. I wonder if there's a way to prevent it from pushing through itself like that. I think overall that's going to work. Maybe the size is off? Or like the gaps between them. They might be a little bit too close together. And a little bit too high. So let's just quickly... The best way to fix spacing is just to scale them all on an individual level. So let's just lower them all down. And then solo them and scale them all individually. Now grows the gaps. What I'll do, because I'm lazy, is I'll flatten the ground where this foot is on ground level. So it's like a little pothole. That'll be what it's in. Maybe I can put some water there. So let's give that a go. There we go. So that road displacement is definitely a little bit harsh. Oh, this is the one that was like weirdly sensitive, isn't it? I never figured out why that was. Okay, so let's fix this the lovely hacky way that I like to do. What I like to do in this sort of situation, where something is completely like ruining displacement strength, and again, this is like a fix for when you're not, when you push for time and you don't need something that's pipeline, like, you know, friendly. What I like to do is I'll create one that's disp strength, strength, and we'll call this one mult disc strength. So that's the one that's going to control how strong our displacement is. We're then going to create another mult, and this one's just going to be called offset. So disp strength offset. And let's, oh god, my typing is fucked. Cool, and what we do is just drag this guy into there and connect that up just here. So now what we can do is just put a 0.1 in this instead of 0.1, and that now just makes this a factor of 10 less strong, and I can continue to use like more human-like numbers in this. Honestly, I'll probably go down to 0.001 and then bring this one up. That's still equivalent 10 times less. So now we can lock that in place, and let's just close that completely. 0 shading groups. Yeah, we need to do some modeling on that guy, because this works so much better than the hairy one. May have to just update the scene. It looks like it's struggling. Yeah, we'll have to fix that. I'll literally just do the hackiest shit. Put it in a pothole. There we go. then I'll have to go through and kind of randomize rotations and heights and all that sort of stuff with the bricks. Randomize which ones are damaged. And that'll make it feel a lot more real. Like a lot more real. So I think 10 times is definitely too little, so let's go slowly step this up. And let's pick an even smaller region. That's starting to get something. Let's go 5. So it's half of what it was in the last renders. There we go. We need some freeze transformations and all these guys. Okay, so let's go modify freeze transformations. I'm not making UVs for these, by the way, if anyone's wondering. Cool. So with that, oh, don't want to do that actually. Not with them selected. Just quickly pull these back. And we'll jitter stuff around later. Let's just grab the last two groups here, or the first two groups, sure, why not? Just extend a little bit further than camera. There we go. So we'll have to break that up a bit. We also have to see what's actually in camera and what's not. So let's go render cam. Oh, that's ref cam. Render cam. So that's the last bit that makes it. Okay, so we can delete like this bit backwards. Cool. Right, what I'm going to do, because I need to go and grab a drink, so to get something a bit more useful out of this, I'm going to do a full in-context render. Update full scene, make sure this is kicking off correctly. I'll let it do like 2 passes and then I'll just like isolate just the bottom and we'll see how that works. Starting it. There we go. That's really well timed. Right, so let's give this just a moment, and then I'm just gonna isolate the bottom to get a bit more context as to what's going on. It's weird how much quicker the mask cleans up than everything else. Cool. So I'm going to run and grab a drink while this renders. And let's have a general feel for if it's the right size and shape, and then we can start actually randomizing it, and we'll do a bit of shading after that. Okay, I'll be back in a moment, guys. There we go. That's looking alright, actually. We need a bit more variation in terms of, let's get my phone to side. Yeah, so there's definitely a lot to be done, obviously. But I think overall that's working. We're just gonna have to hand model it from here, really. We may also need to do a flat layer of bricks at the side, and what I mean by that is bricks that are turned the other way, like 90 degrees, to give like a physical border. So let's get started on that. Yeah, let's do that first actually, because we can check how that looks. Let's move all that over. And for now, I'm just going to duplicate that and drag it out of there. So, J. You have to move these around quite a lot. Cool. Let's actually rename that road brick border group. Cool. And we'll need to kind of dip them around, but we won't worry about that yet. Right, so that's where we actually start needing to move stuff around. Something we'll have to do in quite a few instances is actually just straight up remove some of the worn ones, because they'll stand out the most. So once I've got the distribution about right, I'll start adding height and rotation variation. Then we'll start filling these gaps, which is just a case of making a shorter version of one of these bricks. So let's move you to the end, do you with a smooth brick. And while we're at it, let's just rotate this guy around. And these, I feel like we're going to have to make these pretty rare, to be honest. But yeah, let's go through a few of these. And just grab that. That's right next to an edge damage one. So these are really identifiable. Like really identifiable. Which means they're gonna have to be really rare that we use these. I know I literally just said that, but I didn't realize how rare they'll have to be until I start seeing them all together like this. Oh, we need to do that. Let's remove a vast majority of these guys. Keep him, remove him, and just fill those gaps. These two being together isn't particularly great. We can also get into the whole thing of some bricks being missing, but I want to get a few more of these bumpy bricks in actually. They're quite fun. No, thank you. Just quickly lock that environment layer. This isn't in there yet. So what we'd expect in this area is for these to be worn out. If not, actually, these ones would be missing in that area, right? But yeah, no, that makes more sense. Move these off to the side a little bit. I feel like the road would kind of take over at that point. I'm gonna start deleting and moving things from other rows as well. Just so they're not all perfectly in line, which is another thing I need to sort out. I do have that randomizer script still. Make a half brick out of the neat one. The way I'm going to do the half brick, rather than scaling, so I think I've spoken about this before, like scaling has the effect of crushing the bevels in certain axes, which means that you end up with really inconsistently sharp edges, but like in a not natural way. It's good to have inconsistency, but not in that kind of setup. Yeah, so let's duplicate that, and these are going to have to be different sizes and shapes anyway, so for example, that. So I have to go through and fix that. Hey Brenna. Welcome back. I should go there. I'll have to figure out what we're going to do with this edge, because that doesn't make much sense. Cool, and then let's get you, move you there. Then let's start fixing these up. Have a drainage slope on that side. Yeah, I was thinking of And this is already slightly sloped down, but it's only really on that inside edge, so I do need to do stuff. But I'm wondering in terms of the brick, like how does that work? Like, did they always have like metal grates and shit? Or should I just have bricks go the whole way, but like wear them down, like really wear them out completely? I'd need to find some good ref for that, to be honest. These are so tileable, Jesus. Well, so not tileable. Oh shit. No. Do I need to go through and find all these bricks and fix that now? More reason to delete most of them. Okay, that's the only one. Did they all have that issue? Oh fuck, they do. Okay. Let's delete all the ones that we don't actually want. So those are 2 tiled, so let's swap those around. Luckily, with them being quite easy to spot, one, I can kind of model them and adjust them after the fact, but it makes it easier to find them for the UV fix, or the topology fix we need to do. Fuck it, we don't need that all the way over here. Oh wait, I accidentally deleted one of these guys, didn't I? Right, so I feel like we should get rid of that one too, actually. I'm gonna have to swap the order of quite a few of these, actually. I'm just gonna keep saying the word actually until the project's finished. Getting that. Should we have a missing brick? I have to invert the scale on some of them. Get the background. Get the these not always being in the same corners. Get too far in the hole. So let's go about and fix. Oh, there's 2 right next to each other. Shit. Okay. Let's delete you and you. Get you over there. And get a regular brick next to it. Cool. So this one needs fixing? Nope, that one does. These gaps are really randomly sized. Cool, so it was that face. Cool. Next thing, we need to start moving these ones around. better. My end goal is for the wireframe of this scene to make people just question why. Give that moment to do its thing. Really want to go grab a snack, but I'm really trying to get out of the habit of eating when I'm bored. I shouldn't the hair be wet because it's come from the sewage. Yeah, you're right, Clements. But I don't wanna. I've still got a lot I need to do on him, to be honest. Like, a lot. I kind of want to fix the lighting before I worry too much about the shading of him, because like his face gets completely lost. But you're right, he should be wet, which would mean as well that I'd have to make wet patches on the curve here. Fun all around. I just have some hot lemon green tea when I'm peckish now. I've genuinely tried to like green tea, and like unless I'm at shit, what's the name? Oh no, I've forgotten the name. I've been out of London too long. Shit. A really popular ramen place. Wagamama. Like whenever I was at Wagamama, I used to drink the green tea there, but it's because I'm about to eat ramen. Like it makes more sense. But just at home, I can't really just drink it like that. That's working a lot better. We seem to get that height and rotation variation now, and also the reflectivity and the general value and so many things. Let's just quickly adjust. Let's just ballpark the values that we need to use. Oh yeah, environments locked. Oh, the hair went. What happened there? Okay, well it just makes things a bit quicker, so I'm not going to complain. Did you get the sewage ref you sent? No. Did you send it over the stream? If you sent it over the stream, you can't send .com links. It just detects it as spam. So what I normally find is best to do is just put a space, like when you put .com, like type out dot or something, and it gets through the spam filter that way, just to stop people accidentally clicking spam links. It's dying. Right, there we go. Lower the IOR a bit. Let's tint it very slightly towards brown. Switch to Houdini. I mean, I do actually kind of want to, but at the same time, my next project I want to do like real-time shit. I don't want to jump to real-time and Houdini at the same time. I feel that's a bit intense. Although I do like Houdini. When I used it in previs, I kind of quite quickly fell in love with it, to be honest. What's going on here? I need to do so much shading to get these to look the way I want. Oh yeah, right, okay, so let's get rid of these guys. So there's too many slugged bricks. And we'll start getting that variation in there. Go with a clean brick. Started a bit that side movement there. Subtle, but that's all we need. Just enough to make things feel out of place. Sent you a link on Facebook. Cheers, man. Yeah, that's cool. What about the second one? See, what I'm worried about though is they don't feel overly old. So the references that Pranav sent, like, they're cool. And if I was doing like a more modern project, I mean, you guys by all means tell me if you disagree, but to me these don't really feel old enough for like the type of ground that we're doing. Especially this one, this feels like really nice and modern. Just not the obviously the condition of it, more just the design. It's very sleek. I kind of want to do something that's a bit more bodged almost. Let's do that hacky shit. Oh, he happens to be stepping in a bit where the bricks are sunken down. What are the chances of that, eh? Now I don't have to fix intersections. It does mean I'll need to get obviously quite a lot of variation elsewhere. Push that up. Why brick though? Because I found this reference and this feels quite nice to me. I'm assuming you're talking about the ground. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. This is definitely a bit more modern than these, but it feels like I could make it work. Depends on the material I do. If it doesn't work, then I'll go back to, I'll make things a bit rounder and way more random in their placement. And that'll get close to this. Yeah, so. Lo-fi is class tonight. Sick. Yeah, I bought Spotify Premium, which is weird because I literally got rid of it like a month ago. Maybe not even that, maybe a couple of weeks ago. But the royalty-free Rick and Morty, fuck's sake. Also, welcome to the stream. I don't think I've seen your name before, Lemon, but welcome to the stream. If you hate it, make sure to let me know. Oh, we need to change the size of some of these as well, don't we? Oh shit. Yeah, I mean the thing is I used to rely on Premium quite a lot, but then over time, like I've got enough data on my phone to just slap YouTube on and like leave YouTube going in the background rather than Spotify. Maybe one of these should be completely fucked. Like really almost like broken out. That one already rotated? Well, if I'm having to ask that question, it's too subtle. Breakfast is here, have a good night. Wait, breakfast? Oh yeah, shit, you're in Australia now. I was in the mindset you were still stuck in sunny London. Or sunny France, whichever one you were stuck in. But yeah, have a good night. Or day. I do miss the NPC team. It's quite a lot of fun. I was chatting to Jesus about this the other day actually. It's like I happened to have like joined NPC, like my first job in the industry was NPC, and I happened to have joined it during like what we kind of look back on as like a golden age almost. Because, you know, I joined in 2017, you know, you had Lion King, you had Dumbo, Dr. Dolittle. I'm rattling off names, but I'm trying to make sure I don't say any that are still NDA somehow. But it's like there's loads of really cool films coming through. Development was crazy. The team, there's a lot of new artists, which when it was a young department, which is quite a lot of fun. Like it's a shame. Because it was such a fun little team. Let's try that out. And I can probably very quickly block out a curve material. We can also probably start modeling this for the sidewalk. People who came in for Jungle Book and stayed through Lion King probably saw the best 5 years company had ever seen. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I joined right at the start of Lion King. Like literally right at the start. It was like so much fun. Our team was changing so quickly. It's crazy though, because I was only there for 3 years, and I saw like so much happen in terms of like, you know, the team kind of coming and going, as VFX is, you know. Yeah, we're definitely gonna need to do a lot of work in terms of breaking this up. That's kind of interesting how it's broken through like that. Like I know that's literally just intersection, but I kind of like it. I feel like that is a bit too reflective though. We're definitely going to do a bit of like moss or debris or something, because this connection's way too clean. Three years in VFX is like reaching a top 25% most experienced people in the company, to be honest. It is. It's kind of scary. VFX has such a high turnover, like people burn through it like so quickly. Honestly, it's terrifying. Like people do not last long in that industry. How some people get completely out. I mean, I'm not in VFX anymore. I'm in children's TV. Much easier life. Modify free transformations just to make sure. I was joking to Becca actually the other day. It's like I feel like in the long term, like if I was to ever like decide, you know, TV's not for me and want to go back into film or something, I feel like going into games could be really fun, because if I was to go into games, that would mean my first 4 jobs I would have gone through 4 industries. Because my first job, well, if you don't count like promotions and kind of sideways movement, my first job was film. Then I went to you've either got 5 years or 15. Yeah, I know, right? What the fuck? But yeah, like my first job, well, for my first 3 years I was in film. Then I spent 6 months in previs and TV, and now I'm in children's TV and animation. So if I was to go into games, I've literally like got all the industries except from like ArchViz and, you know, billboard advertising type stuff. But it's just like, I find that kind of funny. Like, if you were to look at my LinkedIn, you'd just think I don't like any industry I go into. Which is not true, by the way. I've enjoyed all of them. Just to put that out there before someone sees this and it's like, oh my god, he's saying he hates all these. But no, I've enjoyed all the jobs I've had. Even when they're absolutely fucking mental. Just checking a message. Oscar sent me a message, but don't really like stopping to reply to messages that are long during stream. I did 6 months in DreamWorks, so 3D animation, 4 years of film, now doing TV, so I guess games. Alright, cool, yeah, so Pranav, we'll build a little a truce thing going on. And like, if you ever leave NPC, I'll leave Blue Zoo, we'll both go to games at the same time. There's an if there though, just to clarify again. Really like this song, this is good. What is this song? Middle School by Blue Wednesday and, oh, Magnus Clausen. Nice. I follow him on Instagram, he's a ridiculously good guitar player. Like, he's got so much style to his songwriting. Meanwhile, Matthias stitched games for VFX. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, because he went... Didn't Matthias start as a runner in Framestore? And then he went to rigging at NPC, did that for like 5-6 years, and then went to games at Ninja? Is that accurate? Is that like his career so far? I always forget like how long Matthias has been doing this for. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with these bricks because they look really soft, like overly soft. It's not something I'm going to fix right now because I think from a distance it kind of works, but zooming in it doesn't, so I'll have to get some kind of maps going on there. I guess we should just model the side, right? We might have to get some grates in front of one of the houses to kind of sell the scene a bit more. I'm not sure if there's something before NPC. No, I'm relatively sure he went to Framestore as a runner, and then his first big break was when Tom Reed reached out to him to do rigging in NPC. I can't remember what got that bridge. Because it is a weird jump to go from running at one studio to rigging at another. Normally, you know, running, I'd think you stay in the same studio and kind of get promoted into a role, right? I mean, it could be that I'm entirely ignorant of how the process works. I've never been a runner myself. Oh look, you're streaming. Yep. It's so sporadic at this point. Oh, sporadic? Sporadic. I think that's, yeah, sporadic. I'm not streaming very often at the moment. It's Jesus Christ. I swear English is my native language. Yeah. Oh, are you going? Alright, cool. Well, enjoy the rest of your night, dude. Oh, Rocket League. I need to play Rocket League again. I got Rocket League to play with my little brother, and he's the only person I've played it with. And like, he's a, you know, almost 11-year-old kid, so 10-year-old kid even. I'll have to play at some point. That could be fun. Right. So what we do in terms of these things? That doesn't need subdivision because that's out of frame. That's out of frame as well. Right, so next thing to do is to start putting panels into this. The question is, how do I go about it? Like, do I push this down and then add plates with a thickness, or do we just extrude lines to create the appearance of different kind of concrete plates pushed together? I also need to figure out what's going to go under these bricks because they feel a bit floaty at the moment. Right, so we can throw a shader onto the, yeah, let's get a quick shader on these guys. Curb shader. Assign to new material. Standard surface, and let's go with road curb mat. Okay, so we're going to need to get displacement on that. So let's get them all. Oh, they've already got subdivision on. Alright, cool. So let's get that cracked open. In fact, let's just quickly save a bit of time. Let's grab this guy. No, let's grab these guys. Graph that. Graph that. Edit. Duplicate. Shading network. Then let's just connect these up. Beautiful. Why is it always so strong? They're in a group. Oh, that's why. Okay, yeah, transformations were present. So that was 100, right? Which means that now I can correct this guy. Because that takes it down by 100, right? Yeah, it does. I should have thought about that. That makes sense. Curb slab. Cool, so they're all fine. I have to name all the meshes soon as well. Which I'm pretty sure I've been saying that for the last couple of streams. So what I'm wondering is if I need some kind of horizontal breakup on these. So let's see if we can do that. So while we're at it, let's just grab that. Cool. I should probably name these layers. Let's just crank that up. Okay, so that one's the large cells noise, I guess. So that'd be the one that we break up. So what about this one? What are you? And that one's the more rocky. So I guess that one's the one that should stay at its original strength. And this is the one that should get stretched out. Let's make it a bit stronger. And then when I stretch this out, it's going to be really strange. Let's go with 9. So it's not that one. Don't forget that one, is it? Something's not working quite the way it should here, is it? Let's put this back to its original. I'm going to use a different noise to get that bridge effect. I feel like I need to bevel the curves a little bit sharper. Too round at the top. I also feel like they might be too tall. But maybe we can kind of fake that by pushing these up at the edges. I was gonna message Becca. Ask what time she'll be home. So feels a bit soft. We might have to go in and make some proper textures. But for now, I'll just see what I can get procedural. So let's duplicate. Wooly can do some really interesting stuff, but it's not really what I'm interested in for this. I could give a really nice rock effect. Let's get some noise. Gets like a layer effect on it. So if we make that more subtle now. What happens if I change the noise type? Let's pick an area like that one. Noise 2 feels a bit better to my eyes. Let's try cell. Some of these are going to give awful results. That's part of the fun. So this one I can barely see, so let's ignore that one. Cell 2. Wooly is tiled more. This is a bit too regular, doesn't it? It feels a bit too deep even. Wooly kind of works in a way. Let's check that with Wooly 2. Wooly 2 looks interesting. I might go back to noise 1 though. It's either noise 1 or Wooly 1. I think noise 1 but a bit weaker and a little bit more tiled. So let's go to like 50 and set that to like 0.3. So it needs to be really subtle, this sort of stuff, otherwise it feels like fabric. And I think this one needs to be tiled more. Let's go 10, 10, and 10. There you go. So let's make the grooms visible. Yeah, let's do it. Really struggling with this one. I'll probably end the stream at about 10 o'clock by the way, I guess. Go play some guitar or something after that. There's a chance I'll stream this weekend on Saturday. Sunday is my birthday though, so I won't be streaming on Sunday. And then next weekend is Becca's birthday. So both of our birthdays are like a week apart. But yeah, so I won't be streaming on Sunday, but I might on Saturday. Because I do actually really want to push through this project. I also just want to start on something new. I need to decide on the new thing I'm going to do. But I kind of want to do a character, like just a character, like not this full environment setup thing, rig. Like I just kind of want to make a really nice character that's T-posed and ready to go. And maybe we could rig it after the fact, but... I need to upgrade to the new Arnold. The new Arnold has optical vignetting, right? So I need to graffiti on these walls as well. I don't know what I'm going to draw. Kind of like... So I've been playing an unhealthy amount of Call of Duty Zombies recently. I've not played it in like 4 or 5 days, but in terms of like whenever I get on games, it's literally exclusively that. And one of the things that is really fucking cool is in the Zombies game mode on the main map. There's a lot of graffiti on the walls, but the design of the graffiti, like, let me see if I can find a... well, I will be able to find. The machine. That's such a... the map. So, it's far beyond my painting ability, but the graffiti on these walls is so cool. And obviously this is like, what I'm supposed to do is, you know, this is 80s and I'm definitely not doing 80s. But like, there has to be an equivalent of this from back in the 1800s. Like chalk drawings and shit, like there has to be. So I'm gonna kind of see what I can find online of like Victorian graffiti basically. Obviously it's not gonna be spray paint and shit, but like, you know, maybe people have etched into walls or like scratched into them, or they've done chalk drawings as I said, or maybe even just dirt, I don't know, but I kind of want to do something along those lines, just add something a bit more interesting. These needs to be darker. Oh, back at some. Hello. Don't think she can hear me. She got headphones in, I think. This feels weirdly paper-like. I think it's that cells noise that's doing it. Monster's definitely right. I need to do wet fur for this. Let's just quickly change the darkness of these. There we go, that's a better colour. Very slight blue, like really slight blue helps, I think. I think this is a pretty healthy place to leave the stream, to be honest. I know it's not been a very long one. I mean, how long has it been? 2 hours. I mean, 2 hours isn't bad. Yeah, I think I'm going to call the stream here. I'm going to just let this do a very long, very clean render. And then in the next stream, we'll do the, we'll block out the ground for like this section. And at that point, we've got everything in place. We just need to look dev the wood and actually do texturing on these, because currently it's just flat colors, which is never going to convince anyone. And as much as I'm not an environment artist, I do feel like I'm capable of more than flat colors. But yeah, so I'm gonna let this render, go play some guitar before it gets too late, and then maybe I will do a stream on Saturday. Maybe I'll find some time during the day and just do a quick little stream. But yeah, and then hopefully, I'm really hoping for end of March for this project to be finished. I will be done at that point. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I'll see you again hopefully in the next stream, whenever that happens to be. Alright, bye guys.